Hungry for more, though, sitting at the bottom, 0-4. So wins against them right now are kind of questionable on how on kind of telling where your team sits. So Cringe Crew, I think, was this a reality check? Did Fnatic kind of play up or play to above their other games?
We can figure that out very easily. We're going to go right into game two. P's and B's on the board as Cringe Crew tries to fight back. They're going to give up their attempt at first pick here. They're going to give it back to Fnatic.
Khepri, going to be banned away. We talked about it already. 13% pick rate, ban rate 87%, win rate 100. We've seen him in every set of picks and bans. This is the guy that across all regions, across all teams, no one can give that up.
Neath going to get banned away. Cringe Crew would be wise to take away Janus or Kronos to maybe avoid that endgame potential. Odin going to be taken away here again, as you'll notice a pretty high pick ban rate as well. 67%. 2/3 of games have contained Odin.
We've seen actually, that's the thing about Europe. A lot of times we'll see the run back, especially after you kind of lose a game pretty heavily, and I like it. Ban out Kronos. That was the correct decision. Now Fnatic, they're going to have to switch it up. Do they want to go the Giannis, or are they looking for something else?
I would probably grab Giannis here. I mean, with the way that Zyrhoes played, with the way he has always played, but they're going to go Isis, and it's not a bad idea, just specifically because they can't rely on one character the way that they did in the previous season. If you took Zyrus' God Pool away, the team fell apart.
Couldn't make it out of the early game in essence. Soul also available. Cringe Crew and Fnatic honestly value it pretty high. I wouldn't be surprised to see it picked up here in conjunction with Hou-Yi, although we don't really see it too often in the mid lane for Cringe Crew. I'm not exactly sure if Kero can play this.
Hou-Yi and Nasha going to be locked away pretty quickly as well.
So 2 counter picks coming out. Obviously, Fnatic looking for that Isis taken away from Kero, although it wasn't too successful. And Cringe Crew taking away the only god we've seen Jifffy really comfortable on so far in his first couple sets.
Yeah.
Has a lot of setup potential. Hou-Yi as well, really. Just kind of this hunter that came into Season 3, and every other hunter kind of took a couple nerfs, but he is just so potent. And I think the biggest thing for me with Hou-Yi is the fact that not only can you just I'm not going to say it's RNG. There's a little bit of setup, but you can almost one-shot players once you get some damage online, once you have Transcendence finished. But also, even from behind, with Hunter's Mark, you can box.
Thor going to be locked in for Jifffy, a character who has not done very well in the recent past. He had an amazing game on Nasha. Let's see if he can continue that ride. BMT, of course, going to be grabbing Athena as Soul gets locked away. This is likely going to be for Kero in the mid lane.
So Fnatic, their early game lineup, obviously the double globals coming out from Athena, Thor, but also a lot of CC from them. Isis, Athena, Thor. Fnatic, their team comp screams early game aggression. They need to be aggressive. They need to be, even if they're not full committing onto fights, they need to be forcing purification so they can set up for the true all-ins 20, 30, 40 seconds later.
Chiron getting taken away, likely to see Cringe Crew hit another hunter as Ares is the one that gets grabbed.
Ooh. Not wanting to deal with EmilZy's Ares tier taken away from maniaKK. I think Zashu, a little bit of PTSD there.
And Bologna. Okay, no surprise there. Cringe Crew still has a few options for warriors, or at least some type of solo laner. And I think a lot of that going to be right. Oh, wow. Okay, I was definitely going to say Guan Yu. It's going to be Ami.
Cringe Crew, their team fight late game, very strong, and honestly 4 gods on the board for them right now that can simply carry a game if they're left untouched, but not a lot of peel, not a lot of CC to kind of keep these carries alive. EmilZy going to have to pick a god that is going to be able to keep them alive. Geb, I think, maybe?
Honestly, I don't think it matters. Vamana into Soul or Vamana into Nasha is a guaranteed kill. I mean, there's a guaranteed kill on the board right now, unless Cringe Crew wins the early game so drastically, they might have just lost in picks and bans because there's no way to stop that baby on this team. There's none.
This lineup from Fnatic is 2013.
And it's awesome.
Isis, Athena, Thor, Vamana, Anhur for the hard carries. Anhur getting a recent buff, and I believe we saw an Anhur go the Golden Bow build. That was... I think it was Ataraxia who went in.
I don't love Golden Bow on Anhur.
He already has pretty good clear.
Yeah, exactly. His clear is not the issue. I'd like to see him go into more attack speed-based builds or crit-based builds. And while you can go crit out of Golden Bow, I feel like you're not getting that big burst damage off at level 5, level 10. Sobek, going to be your support for Cringe Crew. EmilZy going to be taking the Crocodile.
So we always talk about these gods that you got to feel yourself, right? Naja, probably a big highlight on that one. Nox as well.
Yeah.
Sobek is a little bit of that. EmilZy yesterday, playing against Hungry for More, missed, I think, I didn't take track, but had to be at least the first 8 out of 10 of his plucks.
Oh.
Could not connect them at all.
Realzx with a strange miss. He'll be able to back and get his mana. No harm, no foul. Cringe Crew gets in there, gets the ward down safely, and okay, yeah, I mean, they have to make some kind of comeback here, and it looks like we are going to see the Golden Bow from Anhur, Shaggyshenk going into Transcendence.
So the biggest thing for me from this Golden Bow is actually the early game clear. Because it helps you clear these jungle camps so fast, you can get to lane and just immediately get control of the other team, right? They're still on their boars while you're already walking to lane.
But if he gets 2 triple bounces, he's going to clear even faster
that's
than
right.
the Golden Bow.
Okay, I forgot it's Hou-Yi.
Yeah.
Hou-Yi also one of the fastest clearing guns in the game. But Anhur, see, this is the thing, though. It's kind of like an Artemis effect, where it's like, you know, if you get 2 crits in a row in lane, you kind of just gain all control.
Yeah.
Because the team can't fight against you. Anhur, I believe, going to be critting for, I know Artemis crits for 105, I want to say, at level 1. Anhur probably going to be critting something similar.
65 puts him at, I guess 130.
129.
Granted, that's
I forgot
not,
the penetration. He has penetration in his kit.
That's Harpies, right?
That's true.
We'll see what he does in lane. But yeah, 130 to start the game off is pretty ridiculous, actually. He's actually hitting these things for 65 throughout. Wow, okay, they cleared really fast. But the triple bounces being very successful as well, gets both teams into lane at roughly the same time.
Thor Isis, not the jungle mid duo you want to fight early, but Kero going to be throwing on as much poke as he can. Left-hand side Harpies. That's the thing, though. Naja actually does have a little bit of kill potential. Could look to sash out the Berserker's Barrage. Oh, no, you can't fight now. It's over.
Yeah, once Repi through the ring, but for some reason, Zyrhoes abandons and goes for the push.
Wants to gain lane control more than contest those Harpies, I believe. And this isn't the worst decision because they're guaranteed to have lane control as well. There's all those binges they have to deal with. Now this is going to be uncontested, and they successfully have the push in mid.
I really would have liked to see Repikas take the plunge there and Artillery Sash the Berserker Barrage just to stop the clear. Ring going to do some decent work there, and they know it. Nice return. Jifffy getting a little bit aggressive, and it pays off as they dodge the Stellar Burst and don't incur any wrath. In fact, Repi putting himself way out of position here, but a good rotation out of nowhere. BigManTingz and first blood for Zyrhoes.
That was a bait by Zyrhoes. He put himself in such a perfect position. He looked him dead in the face, did not try and juke, it said, "Sash me, I dare you." He sashed him, and then the big rotation coming in from BigManTingz to help guarantee the kill. First blood going the way of Fnatic.
And BigManTingz comes right back, doing some damage to Shaggyshenk. A weird impale from Realzx, hitting the wrong target. Shaggyshenk does not take the damage from the shield wall.
Can we highlight EmilZy real quick? I want to see, did he have pluck up or is he not leveled it up? Can we highlight the Sobek? Okay, I was probably down, I'm assuming.
Okay, fair.
There's no way he didn't pull him in that situation.
Yeah, or that situation? I mean, I guess they can go for boars right now and try to control a little bit more, but, I mean, a full wave not grabbing it on her, forcing him to jump against a Hou-Yi nonetheless, who's level 4, who's guaranteed the knockback.
Hey, man, let him live. Like I said, not successful on the Plux, and that's the thing, though. That's the biggest problem with Sobek. You know, just like Naja, if you miss your ultimate, you are almost guaranteed dead. It puts you in such a bad position. It's the same thing with Sobek.
maniaKK uses the dash right as Zashu takes a backstep. This exaggerates his movement, forcing him way back, and the Heavenly Reflection winds up missing the archers and not getting the clear that Zashu so desperately needs, especially against Vamana. So he winds up taking a little bit more damage than he should have, not getting the clear, losing gold to the tower. I mean, that was just a really smart play from maniaKK off of one seemingly innocent attack.
And you see what he did? He actually walks over to the back Harpies, doesn't have to finish them, just gets in range for the big creep as Zyrhoes finishes it off, hits level 6, so sharing experience very efficiently as well. He loses a little bit of pressure in his lane, but because he's Vamana, he's going to out-clear the Amaterasu.
And Vamana having more than enough gold to be able to pick up his boots, grabs those. You'll notice a 300 gold advantage already in the solo lane. maniaKK is making his return as well.
That's the biggest problem for Amaterasu. Mid-game, late-game, phenomenal team fighter, but really struggles in the early. Any tenured, or excuse me, not support, solo laner should be able to abuse that fact, find gold leads in the early game, and honestly look to out-rotate the Amaterasu in the mid.
And rotating over, we'll be able to grab his blue buff, extra experience there. Of course, Jifffy getting the brunt of the gold as well, thanks to Bombus Mask.
Very efficient play coming out from Fnatic. You can already see first blood for 500 gold, but they haven't invaded once. and they've gotten a 500 gold lead. That's just off efficiency.
Yeah.
Really well timed.
So let's see here. Jifffy, really good wall just to stop that Sobek.
Oh.
He's rotating down. EmilZy getting very aggressive here. Another wall should be able to block this out.
Nice.
And yeah, picks up the red buff. The rest of Cringe Crew walk away. Or at least it looks like it. EmilZy actually turned around there, stuttered for a second, hit him with the old double take. Like, do I want to do this? And no, you don't.
I dare you. Step forward. BigManTingz now going to make his way to the mid lane as well. The 3v3 cores going to be facing off. Left side Harpy's about to spawn. And Fnatic, they could look to fight this, but I would like to see Jifffy come in with an ultimate, not kind of just front face it. Rotation from hi-rez as well. So, oh no, Anhur's coming too. This is a 4v4 setup.
Anhur has a really good line here. EmilZy in some trouble. Desert Fury over the wall. maniaKK soloing down Zashu over on the right lane as the fight continues. EmilZy lurking under the water as Jifffy going to the back line to control and is able to get Realzx out of there. Very smart play from Fnatic. One in the 4v4, one in the 1v1, and find themselves 3-0.
Really nicely played coming up from Fnatic. Not wasting any time. The second the taunt comes out for BigManTingz, the entire team full commits onto EmilZy. Now he does get out his ult. But he was so low. hi-rez Suns were used just defensively trying to get EmilZy out. It wasn't used to try and continue the fight. It was come through the Suns because we can't get to you.
And over in the right lane, maniaKK getting a solo kill onto Zashu.
Somehow.
And he knows that an 8v8 is happening and that his team is winning. So there's no threat to him. He's low health, low mana, no trouble whatsoever. So he clears up the next wave when he's at critical condition, knowing that there will be no competition for him. And now he finds himself 600 gold, the senior of Zashu.
That is a big win for the baby. And Fnatic, who are already controlling every other lane really outside of dual lane, and Realzx is content with just farming for now, should be able to open up the way for maniaKK to out-rotate or bait Zashu. He's now controlling this lane, which means he could essentially just bait the teleport coming out from Amaterasu and then walk over to Gold Fury.
Zashu hitting into level 9 there, but maniaKK already level 10 as he begins a rotation. It looks like they're trying to control these mid camps, the blue buff coming on the top side as well. It's possible that we see them make a double invade here once they go for this.
Already a 1,500 gold lead off 3 kills. No Gold Furies, no invades. I don't think I've noticed a single invade outside of, I mean, maybe a boar got stolen.
I don't think so.
Off the solo kill from maniaKK, but
maybe.
This is just pure efficiency. Fnatic looking like they're back in true form here, especially game 1, I think a little bit, they looked good. Game 2, though, they look really good.
Zyrhoes a little bit out of position here. Jifffy
There we
taken to
go.
the sky. Zashu already crippled. He's not going to hit the attack. And the blue buff, it looks like, is going to go to the blue team.
EmilZy off the mark on those plunges, something he suffers from constantly. BigManTingz going to ult out, and EmilZy pops it early just for a little bit of damage, but Fnatic, they walk away with the blue buff. They walk away with their lives.
maniaKK ults as well, just getting a little bit of his health back, actually getting almost all of his health back. We'll be able to walk back into lane. Zashu, no blue buff, no mana, has no way to really continue contesting this lane, but he does have his teleport up.
Repikas taking a lot of damage.
Lord.
BigManTingz with the taunt and a missed ultimate. Repikas trying to make the big play, but Realzx has rotated in as well. Big pickup from him.
That's going to tilt you. I mean, he was taunted into the Spirit Ball. He winds up going for the ultimate right as Athena dodges it with the dash. After that, Jifffy finds a return kill, or rather another kill onto Kero. It extends it 5-0. Guys, there's no more question in my mind. Fnatic is back.
No hesitation. The stun, the double tap, the rotation from Realzx, Spirit Ball taunt, everything is in sync for Fnatic. All cylinders on fire. The game is not over, however, but 3,000 gold lead off of only 5 kills and a single invade.
I think I disagree. I think this game might be over. Because at this point, like, the tilt is going to be crazy. I'm ready to turn my monitor to the side so I can see what they're seeing. Like, losing game 1 coming into this with the way that Fnatic was playing previously, and then having the game start this way, and then having this squad of Nasha and Soul, these characters, and Amaterasu who need to get to the end game, who are getting kind of decimated here, this is going to be trouble. And now, poor Repi has to go into a wing blade to try to keep himself alive here. There's no damage. There's no guaranteed kill setup unless there's a triple bounce. This is looking like GG, man.
I almost want to see Repikas go into kind of a frontline build. I know it's crazy, but he has a lot of carries on his team. He has the magical damage coming out from Soul. He has the physical damage coming out from the hi-rez. And Amaterasu as well, going to be really good team fight, increase the power of his team and an aura for those around him. Amaterasu also doing damage for some reason. late game, like a lot. Like
Yes.
Heavenly Reflection, if it gets all the way stacked up, I've seen that half-life a carry. Yeah,
like
it's pretty
700
deadly.
Zashu trying to fight into the baby right now. maniaKK definitely going to get the better of this one.
He's just trying to clear wave, man, and he's already half-life.
Oh, and he gets knocked up.
up.
Did he take the... No, okay, I was going to say, I didn't know if that actually took the cooldown, if it gets started and interrupted.
I think he connected on the slow as well. It was real. Yeah,
No, I don't think it did.
It would have been close.
It was... He followed the dash beautifully. Oh, maniaKK.
I saw this yesterday.
He's pulling out the...
I saw this yesterday with
the
Diem
Dibby
and
tricks. No backing, ever. Oh, what is this out of nowhere? Zyrhoes throwing down his ult. Jifffy landing an ultimate as well. The wall not quite blocking the way that we would have expected someone like adapting to, but they still negate it. maniaKK rotating over, doing some damage, but it should be a wash.
Just poking. Honestly, the team could look for Gold Fury here. They don't. Cringe Crew does not have a Guan Yu like they did last game, or a meditation where they were able to successfully siege up and kind of come back in. And with that down and 3 members poked out, I think Fnatic, yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to position themselves.
Oh. That's the second time I think we've seen him throw that into the wall. maniaKK activating his ultimate just to get out of danger. He might not be... Oh, Jifffy, there you go, buddy. That's what we're looking for.
Welcome to the SPL, Jiff.
My lord.
I just want him to get better. EmilZy going to plunge forward. He does take the damage, but look at this combination of EmilZy. 2 deaths. Almost a third or a fourth with how this has been going. And Fnatic, I mean, just... this is beautiful.
Shouts to Scott Gandhi right there as we saw Realzx hit that Bull True Impale right as that dash was coming in.
My God.
Does like a whole bunch of damage and then immediately Spirit Ball into Desert Fury, just knocking him down. 6-0 now as another tally for the Fnatic boys. I can't believe how well they're playing today. And this is the team I thought Cringe Crew was going to be top 3. Like I had it guaranteed in my head that if Fnatic kept up their pattern and their behavior and play the way that they have been playing this season, it was going to be easy for Cringe Crew to find themselves in the top 3. And Fnatic is showing that Europe is not as one-sided as we might have thought.
I will never argue Hindu's European predictions again. So this is how he had it. He said, number 1, Panthera.
Okay.
Number 2, Paradigm.
Okay.
Number 3 through 8, who fucking knows? I'm serious. That's apologies for anyone young there, but that is exactly his predictions for Europe. These teams are going back and forth, but when they show up, it's got to be Fnatic in that number 3 spot. If they look like this for the rest of the season and only look to improve Jifffy and BigManTingz and kind of the synergy between them, how are they going to drop out of top 3?
Honestly, for real. I mean, like, again, guys, we're talking Cringe Crew was shaping up to be a top 3 team, and I think there's still definitely a possibility, but Fnatic is showing to be Fnatic. Jifffy, at very worst right now, is playing as well as Captain Twig did at the end of Season 2.
For sure. And Captain Twig, honestly, reliant on a couple gods, but when he showed up, it was really good synergy with the rest of his team.
Yeah.
Gold Fury still not attempted. Fnatic 6-0 in kills. A little bit worrisome, though, that they haven't extended their gold lead too much. They've been able to find picks.
Sorry, I had to know that dash into the tower. Like, you're not killing a Vamana. Then again, I think I said that yesterday.
Zashu. Questionable decision from Zashu. And there's the Athena ult. Zashu going to be forced to pop sprint. Actually runs back towards maniaKK's
He avoids
tower.
the damage. He avoids the damage. Zashu still not in a great spot, though. maniaKK doesn't have any
Zashu
mana.
has his ult.
Oh, Jifffy out of nowhere. Oh, another wall on the wrong side.
I believe suffering from a little bit of DR there.
Yeah.
That's done. Or Jifffy has not leveled much into his wall.
All right, Cringe Crew trying to make a play here.
I
They
like
notice
this.
a lot of people in solo, so they're going to go to duo. And a beautiful attempt there. Repikas actually helping it from the front line, zoning well, but in some trouble. We already got one down. Repikas in some trouble again. maniaKK trying to find something here as Arrow's in a weird spot.
You can see Shaggyshenk trying to escape as well. Sanctuary popped. Cringe Crew successfully get the gold 3 and only lose 1 player for it. Maybe they're tier 1 in mid as well, but honestly, no minion. Someone's going to have to tank this. It will be maniaKK. This is definitely a win for Cringe Crew, though.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's got to be. It was a 2,500 gold lead. Let's take a look at the graphs after this tower is taken. So, a 500 gold swing overall in favor of them.
Yeah, but now Arrow doesn't have somewhere to run anymore. If you could say to yourself, would you spend 500 gold, or let's say 1,000 gold because it gives you 500.
That's true.
Would you spend 1,000 gold at this stage of the game to take the mid tower off the map from full health? Because I damn well would.
Probably.
Especially against a Soul. If it was against a Janus, maybe not. Against Soul, you better believe it.
An Arrow sitting on 1 death. does need to worry as he's been having a lot of split experience with EmilZy. You can see EmilZy 0-3-0, but still level 11 and only 100 gold behind BigManTingz after that gold theory. So, I mean, EmilZy has been getting picked off, and this is a god that I don't want to see on EmilZy again, and the reason simply is he can't perform on it.
So we got a Sunder coming out from Jifffy.
What in... Okay.
So, no, dude, it's real.
I believe Sunder is good.
Dude, have you seen the Thor Sunder combo? It's obnoxious.
I mean, I saw Mask two-shot Aduro with Death Scythe Sunder.
So you land down with Thor, you throw the hammer, Shaggyshenk joins the rest of his team in the death column. You see that one in the determination. But you land with Thor,
okay.
You throw the hammer, you stun, you Sunder, you auto-attack, you Berserker Barrage.
Oh my god.
You take 2 ticks off the Berserker Barrage for true damage, and hell yeah.
And protection reduction.
Yeah. And the Sunder hits before the hammer comes back.
So that gank, he actually doesn't use it.
He didn't need to.
I know. I just want to see. I really want to see this happen now. Sunder is something that players have experimented with, right? You'll see it in ranked, see it in like some other game modes like Joust.
Dude, I like it.
But in the SPL, you got to be confident. Fnatic are gonna win. Real's gonna come on and be like, "Yeah, it was a misbuy. You meant to get Sanctuary."
I don't know, man.
Sanctuary S. It's close. There's a buyback button now, though.
There's an undo, yeah. Thank God.
He must have been like, click leave base. I don't know, maybe it's real. I gotta ask about it. If Fnatic win this, I'm asking about the Sunder.
You know, I would say like 2 months ago, I sat down with Scott Zier, and Scott Zier's like, "What do you think about Sunder?" And I said, honestly, I think Sunder's pretty good. I think you should leave it alone, give it a few months, and see what happens, see if people start building it, because I think that there is so much hidden potential in this item. And I'm glad that they didn't buff it, because this item is already very good. 25% reduction in protections is really serious. In fact, let's take a look at most of it.
14 deals 40 base true damage and then 14 per level,
right.
Which stacks up, I believe, you know, coming into late game when everyone's level 20, it's pretty significant, but it's a protection reduction, right? Yep. If you're on a front line, right, if you're on the Sobek or the Amaterasu in these situations, they're going to be a lot less tanky than they even think.
Nem Sunder.
Oh.
Nem Sunder.
Oh.
Don't pick Nemesis. That's a joke,
yeah,
guys,
she's bad,
please.
But it's because Sprint's too good, man. maniaKK got to tank up Amaterasu, take the second tier 1 tower in the game on the right-hand side, and this is kind of to be expected, but maniaKK doesn't really have this massive lead on Amaterasu anymore. Amaterasu only 500 gold behind, and she's made it out of the early game, going to be very effective heading into the 17th minute.
But she has no damage, basically. She has Heavenly Reflection in her ultimate, and realistically, she's not going to get off a lot of auto attacks. She needs to get something, whether it's like a Frostbound Hammer or a Shield of Regrowth to be able to stick to people, just something that's going to allow her to get to that front line and stay there. Because right now, she's not squishy. You know, she'll be hard to kill.
We've seen this before, Jifffy.
Sunder boys.
They're going to take to the sky, but it's red this time.
He was
I'm assuming that's the positioning of Realzx, because you take a look, right? Realzx has just finished Chins. He's got basically the golden bow on top. Shaggyshenk spinning his ult just to keep the wave at bay.
I like that.
But the rest of Fnatic, they're grouped up here.
Yeah, Jifffy has an opportunity for some damage here. I'm surprised he didn't just go for the double tap.
This might be another pick onto the Crocodile. We've seen in this story time and time again this game. Oh, BigManTingz, a little bit of miscommunication, dashes forward. Oh, but the team's going to turn on Shaggy. Double tank.
Wow, that was
tap
quick.
Is successful.
That teleport auto attack was like instantaneous, and Realzx hit almost every one of those spears. Unfortunately, he hit it into a Sanctuary, so it doesn't get much out of it. And going to be sent back. No stun.
Oh, Repikas going to take one to the sky. BigManTingz is here for Peel, and look at this. Zyrhoes trying to drop the circle protection in time, but Jifffy does get taken out. And honestly, Cringe Crew 5-member strong right now.
I don't know, man. They used, I think, pretty much 4 ultimates to kill one person who has already wasted most of it. They need this kill into Vamana. A Weakening Curse comes out to stop the healing as well. They've invested heavily. Shaggyshenk's going to find it, and they're going to try for Zyrhoes here. Let's look at EmilZy. Can he find the pluck?
He wants it. He's just going to sit close range. It's going to be Zyrhoes, but Purification are good. And now Soul throwing the Stellar Burst into the team fight. Fnatic, they've been on full retreat, but they're grouped up. And look at this. Zyrhoes just going to try and turn around and fight the members under towers. BigManTingz gets away barely with the dash. And now Amaterasu going to be able to clean up Zyrhoes here. It's a matter of time. And Cringe Crew, who were down all game, had 0 pressure on the map. After their first Gold Fury, find 3 kills in a Tier 1 tower and another Gold Fury.
Yeah, this is really important. The way that they controlled that fight was really serious. Jifffy winds up getting picked off, and then from that, there was an opportunity for Fnatic to win that fight, but they needed to take it immediately. They backed off and tried to bait, and as a result, they gave way too... Oh, Jifffy has a Sunder here. He could go for it. Jifffy gets a kill. Who got the Gold Fury?
Cringe Crew, they're able to get it, but Repikas falls as well. It's a double for Jifffy, and a nice turnaround coming out from Fnatic. Jifffy just barely off the mark. Shaggy going to jump over the wall, and it's going to be a couple stolen buffs here unless Kero can defend.
And actually...
Barely.
Actually...
Cheeky.
Auto attacks. Kero
Cheeky.
finding his own red buff. Look at the gold. Kevin, we got a pretty even game here.
Yeah, experience 2,600 lead for Fnatic. Negligible, basically, this late into the game, and a 300 gold difference. Cringe Crew fighting back. They've got the 3 kills, a tower, and more importantly, 2 Gold Furies.
But still no kills onto Realzx, which I think is a big deal. Realzx 4-0-1 right now, a part of 5 of 10. Highest gold right now, or at least close to it with maniaKK, and you'll notice 9,700. Shaggyshenk not too far behind, though, even at 112, a level behind and about 200 gold or so not that big of a deal. Can we actually see experience per minute and see just how far the hunters are apart?
675 to 500.
It's pretty far, actually.
Just about 600, yeah. Especially this late in the game. Right early in the game, that's not that big of a deal because you're getting pretty high XP per minute. It gets a lot more accurate the later we go.
It's 1,400 experience. You can see Realzx. Can we actually hover on her real quick? Very close to level 19, as opposed to Shaggyshenk, as we'll hover on him as well. Actually, no, pretty close to 18.
All right, that's not too bad.
And 19 is not an important level, to be fair.
No, level 20 is the big one. Because right there, they're both leveling their dashes. They're both maxing their dashes at level 19.
In fact, I would wager that a level for Shaggyshenk at 18 is more important than a level to 19, as Disperse is not used. Yeah, we got an attempt here.
Jifffy going to land down, looking for Repikas. He could get bursted, but he is able to heal up and defensively ults away maniaKK on zone duty. But honestly, this oboe from Shaggyshenk doing a lot of work, and here comes Amaterasu.
Oh my god, the explosion not doing enough there. Zyrhoes getting sent back. Good use of the heal, good use of the reduction as well, but it wasn't enough. That Amaterasu all coming and laying waste. Zashu coming up big, taking too much damage though, in a lot of trouble. Shaggy just not hitting enough as Realzx hits everything.
Big crit to finish off Amaterasu. maniaKK flung back under tower. He's surrounded by 3. Shaggyshenk finds the last hit. Double tap not going to connect, but oh no, Cringe Crew, they're getting turned on. EmilZy stunned on Jiffy's wall, but he may get out as Realzx gets turned on. Shaggy with the double.
Big Man and Jifffy, I don't know if they have enough to control here. There's not a lot of healing on this side, which means they shouldn't get this Phoenix, but that was a really big play. They take, what, 3 for 1 plus the tier 2? How is this happening? Cringe Crew, their late game comp is getting to late game.
You can see Fnatic, weren't able to get a big enough lead, honestly, and it was that Gold Fury, and that's the thing, right? We talked about it where Fnatic were able to respond by getting a tower, a couple kills, and it was only a 500 swing. But the thing is, Gold Fury was gone on the map for 5 minutes, which means they couldn't really expand their lead. That 5-minute window helped Cringe Crew start to get key items online, and now you can already see they're going to be starting up the Fire Giant. No wards on the map for Fnatic in that area, but Zyrhoes, he's going to smell it out.
Yeah, he notices this. EmilZy trying to block it out, and we got a teleport in. It looks like EmilZy's not going to go for that. Flings him back. Fire Giant low. Fire Giant taken, and trouble as they're going to go right in for the fight.
maniaKK, very deep. Fantastic wall coming out from Jifffy. Repikas is going to be the first to fall, but Cringe Crew, if all 4 members can survive with Fire Giant, no, maniaKK actually blocks EmilZy's pull, and Amaterasu doing her best job to peel.
EmilZy still getting blocked out, though. Even with that Magi's Blessing and a missed taunt, they still wind up taking 2. Now the question is, what can Fnatic get out of this? They have 2 people down right now. They're going to ensure a major power play, and they've got to make a comeback because they're down to gold. They're down, actually even in experience, and 3 people on the Cringe Crew have that Fire Giant buff.
I like this. They're going to siege up the tier 2. In the meantime, Jifffy going to be pushing the wave on the right-hand side. All of Fnatic are going to rotate. They're going to get that tower as well. Gold Fury not up, but it's not that big of a deal. Repikas going to be spawning in 7, so Fnatic should only be able to get this tower, and then they're going to be forced to back off.
It looked to me like that there was a split in the call from Cringe Crew. Repi went in, everyone else really got out, and he winds up diving, unfortunately, into an Athena ult that he probably couldn't have predicted, trying to fight a baby at this level in the game, and you can see that build, like there's no way the Nasha's getting through that thing.
Frostbound Hammer, Bulwark, Breastplate of Valor. That's a lot of health. That's
Bulwark
a lot of HP.
And Breastplate, Bulwark and Frostbound Hammer alone is giving enough health to basically negate most of the ultimate. And then after that, it's just raw baby stats, and he's allowed to just walk in and kill people.
And is also increasing his power as well. Health regen, but he's going to going to be working on that Urchin and Cringe Crew. They're 5 members strong. They're going to be sieging up this right tier 2. EmilZy and Repikas, no Fire Giant around their waist.
They're going to go right in, it seems.
Oh,
BigManTingz trying to set the pace here as he finds 2.
Spear ball off the mark. Jiffy's in the sky, though, and Repikas, he's going to be taking an Athena to the sky.
Yeah, this is not a good call. He's in a really bad spot. Nice Sanctuary gets him out of danger. EmilZy has taken a lot, though, but so far Cringe Crew hasn't found enough to keep this pressure on. EmilZy, though, or rather Jifffy, again, in a lot of trouble as Zashu gets off a good ult. In the back line, though, EmilZy does get taken down, and in the front line, it's going to be Zashu to join him.
maniaKK and BigManTingz going to be combining together, zoning out the back line. Jifffy, look at him. He's so low, but he's actually pushing forward. No, he's going to back, thinks better of it. But the rest of Fnatic, they're not going to allow Cringe Crew to back for free. And the whole idea of this is they don't actually want to fight Cringe Crew here, right? Unless Cringe Crew make mistakes. They're just not allowing Cringe Crew to back, get full health, and get more out of their FGI. I love this decision-making. Only Kero and Shaggyshenk, the ones left.
Just go right for the Gold Fury. Just keep it honest. You know, try to get some of that lead back. No worries. Actually, they have the lead. Let's take a look at this. Damage actually close to even. In fact, Cringe Crew getting the better of it, but they're spending too much of that damage into characters that aren't carries. I mean, Zyrhoes was able to get a lot more damage off than Kero, obviously. Shaggyshenk didn't have as big of an effect as Realzx. It was a lot of damage coming onto characters like Athena, which wasn't that big of a deal, obviously. She tanks it up and walks away.
Notice there, Jifffy also taking his entire life bar outside of just a sliver of red HP, and he's able to successfully get out. So a lot of investment into the Thor as well, who walks out safely. And Thor, honestly, that Spirit Swirl helping him a lot. He's also invested into a Beat Stick, going to be good for anti-healing, which we know Cringe Crew, while they don't have direct raw heal, you know, like a Raw or Guan Yu or Hell, but a lot of self-sustain in each of these characters' kits.
They need a little bit more healing reduction on the side of Cringe Crew, which is why you're seeing that heavy mace come out. That's more than likely going to be a Brawler's Beat Stick, trying to deal with the Isis, trying to deal with the Vamana. There's also possibility of a Divine Ruin there, but that's more than likely going to be a Polynomicon, but I really would like to see it be not a Polynomicon. I want to see the Divine Ruin.
Divine Ruin, I think, be pretty effective. Soul, though, I mean, with Polynomicon, you can't pass it up. Probably both items, something he should look into investing in. He already has the Rod of Tahuti. And if you want a Spear of Desolation, you simply sell your Doom Orb in the last slot.
So Sobek sells his Watcher's Gift, and it looks like spends that money on a full Mantle of Discord. So
yes, he needs to live.
Cooldown reduction on top of a very important stun. It would have saved him 2 times now had he had it earlier on. Double tap, not going to hit for Jifffy as he ults out. Actually, could they reinitiate here? They shouldn't. He won't. maniaKK uncontested on right side, going to be forcing them into a weird spot. Fire Giant coming up in less than 30 seconds as Fnatic has not only successfully held off the rush, but have gained the lead off of it.
Fnatic doing a phenomenal job here after Cringe Crew were able to kind of gain hold back into this game. You can tell the team fighting experience from them just a little bit too high. It is actually a Yoen's Wrath, though, going to be finished for Amaterasu. So Zashu looking for that full cooldown build.
Yeah. So what this will do is it'll increase his ability to stand switch, increasing his healing outright. It'll also increase the amount of silences he'll get off in a single match, allowing him to both aggress and then somehow decelerate and get himself out of there as fast as possible once the fight starts to wind down. So Zashu going a much more aggressive route as opposed to going for a more defensive route, you know, kind of throwing maniaKK to the wolves. He's trying to keep himself alive. We'll see how it works.
He's 0, 3, and 5, but I feel like most of those kills were pretty early. And once the fight breaks out, he honestly wants Fnatic to focus him. So if they're going to focus him because they don't see him going, you know, into more of a health-based item in that last situation, I think that's a win for him. And maniaKK, look at him just splitting.
It's a good idea.
Splitting Cringe Crew up.
They're going to know that he's out of position. They have to take this fight right now. Force him to teleport before he starts getting towards that Phoenix.
Jifffy, Purification, R-Force, maniaKK, he's going to get the tier 2 and likely teleport in, but Zashu not tanky at all. We were just talking about it, but he's forced out of the fight.
And Repi taking a lot of damage. Sanctuary super late right there. Jifffy not on par with the ult, and maniaKK going to dive right to the back line, bringing Athena with him.
You can see Zashu just trying to get out, but he's getting focused by everyone, and Zyrhoes blows up the circle protection just in time. BigManTingz, no taunt available, but Fnatic successfully find a pick, and Just funny enough, we were kind of talking about Amaterasu not being tanky. Jifffy caught in between 4, needs to be careful. Berserker's Barrage, but he's actually going to bait Fnatic into an awkward spot.
But a return, Repikas actually goes down, so it's going to wind up being jungle for jungle now with 1 solo off the board. Fnatic has a pretty decent advantage. 10 kills in the lead, gold lead, experience lead as well. And they have major vision advantage as it's somehow EmilZy's going to try to fight into this.
EmilZy, Mantle of Discord was already popped, so no stun for him. And this build from EmilZy is worrying to me. We've kind of looked at it. The biggest problem is he doesn't have a lot of health, and he doesn't have a lot of protections. He's honestly bought 3 items which are good. There's no core, right? I guess the sovereignty, right? Mantle of Discord and Magi's Blessing are both good, but they need to be your 5th and 6th slotted items. You can't have 2 of them.
I mean, if you're going to have a Mantle of Discord, in my eyes, you also need to have some form of more cooldown reductions. That's why you're buying it. I mean, cooldown boots to me aren't good enough. A Breastplate of Valor here would have been a little bit better, allow him to move a little bit more. But honestly, the reason that he died there was probably Shaggyshenk applying that 40% damage reduction, because when that, or rather the healing reduction, because when that Sickening Strike came down, it barely healed him for anything.
Man, Realzx here going to be counter-warding, and Fnatic, they're going to be starting up this Fire Giant. They're 5 members strong.
They going to take that fight?
Cringe.
No, wow, okay, they're going to back off.
Can we highlight EmilZy real quick? I want to see his health pool. Only 2,400 30 minutes into the game.
Usually you want somewhere between 27 and 32 at this stage.
Highlight Repikas. I'd like to see the...
Yeah, let's take a look at Repi. He has that wing blade.
I'm assuming he's close. So, like, 400 less on Naja. This Crocodile
almost the same level of
is
CC.
Not very tanky, as well as EmilZy missing a lot of his plucks and putting himself in a bad position, guaranteeing himself to take free poke at the start of this fight. Fnatic, though, they're not going to risk starting the Fire Giant just yet, as Cringe Crew were in position. No towers on the board for them to split up, but Gold Fury is there if they want to look for that.
And going back over towards the right side, no Phoenix is down just yet, and it looks like Cringe Crew's Zashu going to be going for the split push on the left side, ensuring that just some level of safety from the Phoenix. He does have his teleport available, will be able to rotate if necessary, but will be late to the party if a bad initiation starts. And you'll notice almost all level 20s as BigManTingz sends out a warning shot, level 19.
Just barely off the mark, and you can see Fnatic, we've seen this all game, just trying to split everything they can. Jifffy trying to find Repikas, looking for a little bit of poke, but Fnatic, they're committing to this Realzx ult way early. The penetration is what he's looking for, but that was risky.
And there's the Ice Assault. That's important. This should be free now for Fnatic. Blows it up. Yeah, gets it. Knock up, though. A lot of damage coming through. They're taking too much from the Suns. maniaKK to fall. And Zashu finally joins the fight. He's going to get the stun here. Possibly gets him on the landing. Realzx forced the double relic. And they're going to try to burn it down. Shot from Shaggy. Dives into the back line. Looking for Zyrhoes now as he tries to make his escape. And it's going to be BigManTingz finds the victim of ire as he's going to get burned down if he doesn't get out of there quick.
Repikas, a miss on the ult. And BigManTingz trying to get out. He's channeling his ultimate. Can't get it off in time. Kero finds that cheeky little bounce off the mark. Shaggyshenk silencing Zyrhoes, and it's Cringe Crew who come out on top. Fnatic secure the Fire Giant, but only Jifffy remains alive.
This is trouble for Jifffy.
This is game.
This could be game. He has to hold out for a very long time. Still 30 seconds before Realzx, 20 seconds before maniaKK. It looks like they're going to go right for it. Flaming Spear activated. Sanctuary to try to block out the Phoenix as well. They're going for it. Phoenix is down. They're working their way in 13 seconds before maniaKK. They're going to try to burn this down.
It's Amaterasu on top. Repikas looking for a heal. Oh, he's actually going to go straight onto Jifffy. Shaggy finds the last hit, and Cringe Crew pressured all game.
First game was a stomp, fine, but it was still exciting because it's the return of Fnatic, and then Fnatic playing beautifully that game still finds a return from Cringe Crew. Third place is actually up for contention. God bless.
You can see the last fight's stats on screen. 4 kills over to Cringe Crew, a single kill onto Fnatic. More importantly, though, all of Fnatic full commit onto the Fire Giant, which is basically guaranteed with the Ice Assault. We saw the penetration coming out from Realzx, stacking it up with Desert's Fury. But then the Suns come raining down Shaggyshenk with a phenomenal ultimate. Fnatic tanking it for way too long.
Actually, we just heard from production, 4,000 damage done from the Fire Giants in that. A lot of that having to do with the Suns. The knockup hits 2 or 3 people in the last engage. maniaKK winds up taking way too much damage before getting into his ultimate. Healing Reduction comes out. They burn him down right as he's about to start ticking away and getting out of there, and then they just chase down the back line. And Zashu hitting Realzx right as Realzx hits the ground was maybe not lucky. I feel that was more an error in Realz's jump. I think he should have jumped a little bit later, but it was just an incredible run.
Let's take a look at First Blood here, and this was beautiful. This was a pure bait from Zyrhoes. Channels his Wing Gust, basically baiting Repikas to interrupt it. He does. Jiffy's right there with the Berserker's Barrage and a rotation from BigManTingz.
And you notice the way that Zyrhoes runs. He doesn't back up to force him into the hole. He runs behind his support to guarantee no damage from Kero as well. Very smart start. I really like the communication is getting better on Fnatic, but they overcommit to the Fire Giant in the end, and Cringe Crew, keeping a close game throughout, find themselves with a victory. Really, that was a 6v5 if you consider that both the comeback potentials from Cringe Crew happened because of the Fire Giant.
One thing that happened during that game that we actually didn't watch was maniaKK somehow soloing out Zashu. I believe it was one of the early kills. We have a replay of that, so let's take a look and see kind of how Vamana trumped Amaterasu.
So we know that this is a really big play because after maniaKK gets this, he's almost dead. Wait, oh man, that was the part I wanted to watch.
How he lived from the archers. I think he just ran away.
He runs away, comes back, and kills the wave. That's the best part. Oh, okay, we're going to get the whole thing. Cool. So he's going to run away here.
That potion he popped?
Oh my god.
That potion he popped saved him. You saw the green go off. maniaKK's like, please, no, God, no, I'm sorry.
So then he knows that all 8 other people on the map are fighting. So he goes back around, clears the way for extra experience, strips away more golden experience, and takes it. But the big deal here is the Fire Giant play, the overcommit from Fnatic. The call was good, but they may have just lasted a little too long.
So there's the Suns.
Look at this.
Oh, the stellar. The Suns into the Fire Giant knockup into a 3-man stellar burst.
And too early from Realzx, lands right into death. He obviously does pop both of his relics, but there's nowhere to go from there. They immediately start running. BigManTingz gets a beautiful pull, but where is Jifffy right now?
I think he escaped. He lived. I think he ran away from the team.
He did live. So he was off behind the tier 2, I think. Got back to the base, wasn't able to get back. Just an amazing team fight. It really was from Cringe Crew. They just were extremely opportunistic. Too much was wasted on the Fire Giant. I think for me, the Desert Fury showed desperation.
I was really surprised at that.
Once he used it, there was no way he could just decommit from the fight. He was in there.
Let's take a quick look at the standings with that split. Panthera still undefeated at the top. Leftovers 3-3. Cringe Crew starting off real strong, 3-1. Obviously 2 games less than those 2 at the top.
Fnatic 2-4 at the end of that set. Much lower than we would have expected, but those were 2 damn good games that we just watched, man. That was my favorite set of Europe so far.
That was a really close set. I think my favorite part of that is even though it was a split, Fnatic had control of the set 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like they felt in full control. We're going to be having EU qualifiers come up next, guys. Tomorrow, though, another pretty important matchup. It's going to be Enemy, who are still undefeated, taking on Denial Esports.
I expect that they will remain undefeated. With Denial, again, losing a core part of their team, it's going to be very difficult for them. Skeleton, I think, doing a pretty good job, but, I mean, a pretty big hole left in the chemistry.
It was Mask, right? You lost Mask. That's a pretty big hit. Obviously, Envy respecting his skill. They picked him up. He looks pretty good on that team, although trading 1-to-1 with Thor also a pretty big I don't know, man. I'm loving this season, right? Because there are at least in Europe, right? There's Panthera, there's Paradigm. Everyone else, all of North America and most of Europe, it's just kind of like, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see who shows up, and that's what I love the most is any day of the week, I think any team can win right now.
Contentious matches so far throughout Europe, aside from Panthera, of course. North America, very close as well. We're going to be switching over to Xbox, I think, next, yes?
Yeah, console qualifiers for Europe, so we'll be seeing that, and that's going to close out our day. It's going to be Barrage versus BM. Barrage winning the first couple weeks.
Which is cool. All right, let's see if they can continue that streak, guys. We'll be back in just a minute. Stick around.